Thanks for tuning in. If you like old trains, please subscribe. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the 1928 Ives standard gauge line that they came out with. Ives had some major financial problems. They're basically in receivership, and they were struggling to bring out product or try to improve product. The 20s in standard gauge was the brass era. So it was catch up and try to get a jump on all the three major manufacturers, Flyer, Ives, and Lionel, of course. So they kept adding more and more brass trim to the engines, more cowbell basically. And this was the last configuration here of these cars. We'll go into those in a little bit here. But and then the last configuration of the 3243, which originated in 1921 with Ives introduced standard gauge. But for the last reiteration here, they had the brass windows here, the brass doors on the end. Quite a bit of bling for the old engine, which started out as a lovely engine, but much more plain. So they offered this in the light blue, as they called it in the catalog, and then also the black. And they were bringing out their 3245, and they added basically brass here, basically give it a little more bling, and added some gold here. This one just has the old cast iron frame. So Ives was struggling in 28, trying to bring out anything that they possibly could, scraping the floor. But here we have proof that in Easter of 1928, Ives did have their line, at least examples of it. They have the circus set up here. Over here you have their cadet set, which is absolutely lovely, which they were not able to bring out the cars, but they did have the 3243. And then in front here, we have the a black 3243 on a cast iron frame. And then we have a short cab here, like that, but this would be the blue one with the cast iron frame. And now we see this would be the blue set, like that set there. But here we have it. Now you can see the brass inset windows. It was shown here in the on display, but it was never shown that way in the catalog. And then up on top here you have a black 3237 pulling the orange cars with the brass inset windows. Here's the 28 catalog, and you can see clearly that the illustration does not have the brass inset windows. Ives in the 1928 came out with these very nice trucks, which would find use on the transitional cars. So in 1928, of course, the Flyer Black Diamond cars come out using these trucks, and then the Lionel bodies in 1930 use these trucks, which are really superior looking and lower the car bodies, make them look quite a handsome set. Here is the star of 1928, was their 1134. They had the preliminary tooling to do it, but they ran out of money. So Lionel and Flyer came in to kind of prop up the company, and Flyer was able to get this engine, and Flyer in exchange turned in some of their passenger cars so that Ives could continue their Black Diamond. But these cars are going to kind of get overlooked because of the transitional cars. These are actually quite hard to find. 1928, Flyer was coming out with the President's Special, which was quite lovely in their two-tone blue. So they were going from lithography to lots of brass, two-tone blue, just a glorious shining train for kids. But Ives was just trying to play catch-up here, so they just added these brass windows here. So in 1921, when Ives started their standard gauge line, they brought out these cars, which are quite nice, basically an expansion of their one gauge cars, all soldered together, so lots of little parts here, but very nicely shaped cars. And then when the catch-up game, and add more bling started happening. By 1927, here we have brass plates, brass journals, a little fancier trucks, and then the final configuration in 28 is now they add the brass window trim, go to the pseudo six-wheel trucks, and originally they had a built-up observation deck. This is a Lionel one. Lionel added their parts there starting in later 1928.